German Interior Ministry spokesman said the church had actually expressed its fears before the New Year's Eve bomb attack in Egypt. Meanwhile, in France, anti-terrorist police are investigating threats made against Coptic churches and the internet. Well, to discuss this further, we're joined in the studio by Bishop Angaelos, General Bishop of the Coptic Orthodox Church in the UK. Thank you very much for joining us. First of all, focusing on these latest news from Europe, how worried are you about these threats, especially in the run up to Christmas, which is now just a few days away from your place?
Well, as people who are responsible for knowing it now, what we must be worried, even if the threats come to nothing, we must take as many precautions as we can. We have been on alert since the bombings in Iraq, because the Coptic Church was threatened first after that bombing in the Syrian Orthodox Church there.
So just to make clear, the Baghdad Christians weren't Coptic?
No, they were Syrian Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were just saying that you heard of threats before that attack?
Yes, well, the threats were made at that attack. And since then, we've known something was coming. Unfortunately, at a time when people were entering the church as families, men, women, children, the elderly, and they were reflecting on starting a year with God in the house of God and that security, they were victims of a very, very grave terrorist attack.
I mean, obviously, with Christmas coming up, a lot of the Coptic church members will be attending Mass. What are you doing with the authorities to try to ensure their safety? Are you asking authorities here in the UK, for example, for special protection for the churches?
Well, the authorities have been put on alert, and there are now protocols in place. But, we're a church that is used to having many people die for its faith. We've suffered millions of deaths over the last centuries. We're a resilient bunch. We're not really going anywhere. I don't mean that to be confrontational, but for Copts, their faith is very important, and their faith in a relationship with God that gives them strength internally is also very important.
Does it surprise you that these threats are aimed at the Coptic communities in Europe?
Well, it does and it doesn't. It does because here in Europe our relationships are very good with everyone, as they are in Egypt. It doesn't because there seems to be an international wave where if we want to cause destruction, we'll cause destruction inside and outside of Egypt. Throughout the past centuries, we've never taken up arms, we've never been aggressive, we've always held our faith very carefully with a great love for everyone around us, and by and large there has been good relations with our Christian brothers and sisters, with our Muslim brothers and sisters in Egypt. It's just this wave of radicalization recently that has changed the picture substantially.
And just a final point, as we've said, just a few days away from Christmas, a key date in the Christian, the Orthodox calendar, what would you say the mood is in the community?
Well, there's a great mood of sorrow at the moment, merely because these people whose pictures we've seen on the news aren't just pictures. They are people, I know people here in the UK whose relatives and friends have passed away. But at the same time, we're trying to encourage people that we must still rejoice the birth of Christ and the birth of Christianity and a promise of life and a promise of salvation that they all hold dear.
Bishop Angaelos, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us, General Bishop of the Coptic Orthodox Church. Thank you.